Are you working hard to create content on Instagram and just feeling like your content isn't going where you want it to go? We're going to look at various components of an Instagram feed post and how to optimize each one to get you better results. And stick around to the end of this video. I'm going to share with you some of my favorite tips for creating consistently branded content that your audience will immediately recognize as yours. So the first thing let's look at is post format. Photos, videos, carousels. What works best? Algorithmically, Instagram doesn't have a preference over photos versus videos. If your audience prefers videos, you're gonna wanna create more videos. So you have to look at your own metrics to determine that. But carousels are my little hack that I want you to try out. I don't recommend using carousels all the time because it can be overwhelming to your audience, but a carousel post allows you to do 2 to 10 photos or videos in one post that they can swipe through to see more content. Why do I love these as a hack? It's double the chance for exposure. If someone sees your post on the first image and doesn't react to it, Instagram will show it to them again the next time they log in with most likely the second image, but sometimes the algorithm will actually determine another image in the sequence to show them that they think that person is more likely to engage with. So you have double the chance to get exposure and engagement. The next component we want to look at is your actual post content, the actual creative that you've put in there. Here's a couple things to think about. The color blue is proven to get about 20 to 30% more engagement. People react to the color blue. Have a blue sky, a blue product, a blue label, blue clothing. Something in your image with a pop of blue can help boost that engagement. People also connect with people. So rather than putting your product on a box on a shelf, have somebody holding that product, using that product. You can shoot the image over their shoulder. It can be just their hand, maybe just their feet sitting in a chair. The moment you add a human component to your creative, your engagement goes up. Another favorite hack of mine is to have very minimal background and a light background, white or gray, something that is very muted, and then a bold pop of color that really stands out in the feed. That will get viewers to slow the scroll and pay more attention to that content. One of our favorite things, animals. Everybody loves cute animals. Puppies, kittens, sheep, pigs, you name it. If you can put an animal component into your image, you're probably gonna get more engagement. One of my personal hacks is that I use my image with 2 or 3 simple words overlaid on that post that tells people exactly what is going to be in that caption. I use this for new Instagram features and updates. It immediately gets people to stop, pay attention, and read that caption, generating more engagement and more impressions on my content. The next component of your content is the caption. This is super important to driving conversions, so we want to make sure you're doing it really well. My first tip is to have a really good, strong first sentence of your caption, because the captions actually get truncated with ... more. So people are really only reading the first 2 lines of your caption. And if that doesn't get their attention, they're going to scroll past. Think of your first sentence like a great blog post title or a great email subject header. Use capital letters, add emojis, do something to really draw people's attention into that caption so they click on the ... more and read the whole caption. Additionally, in your caption, you might want to consider adding hashtags. They're incredibly powerful, and feel free to check out our video on how to use hashtags successfully on Instagram to get more exposure on your content. Click up here or find the link to that video in the description of this video. Another sneaky hack that I have for you is for you to be more engaged on Instagram. Instagram will reward you with more reach if you are actively involved on the platform. Make sure to log in at least once a day to like, comment, scroll, watch a story or 2, because your positive time on the platform will actually result in more reach and exposure for your content. So don't post and ghost. Instead, show up regularly for your audience. It's gonna help everybody in the long run. And now, time for the bonus. I'm going to share with you a couple hacks to create well-branded and consistently branded content that your audience will immediately recognize as your own when they're scrolling through the feed. One of my favorite tips is to pick only 2 or 3 Instagram filters when creating your content. You want these to be very similar and consistent across the color spectrum. If you pick a yellow tone filter, keep all your filters in that tone, or a blue tone filter, keep them all the same. If you're creating food type content, look at filters that have high saturation. Brighter tones like lo-fi are a great one to really pull out the contrast in a food. If your brand is more vintage style, things like Gingham and Sierra give a little bit more of an antique look to your content that can also stay true to all of your branding. One of the things people often ask me about is adding a watermark or a logo. I don't recommend this. It's actually very off-putting for most people to see your logo splashed across your content. So try not to do this. Find creative ways with your content to create consistency. Another trick that I often recommend is be unique with how you take your camera angles. Get down low, shoot on a slight angle, stand up higher. If you're always shooting from a certain perspective that is aesthetically your own, it will create an immediate subliminal connection when people are viewing that content. So if you're ready to take your Instagram content to the next level, click here to watch this video on how to run Instagram contests legally, or click up here to check out the playlist with lots of other videos all about how to use Instagram for business.